brief introduction about ourselves. The Legal Aid Society of B.M. Sarkar College of Law was started in the year 1988 with a 3 single legal aid cell in Bahrain. Today, the legal aid program has expanded to 26 permanent free legal aid cells in different places across the state, and one among them is a MAPSA free legal aid cell. Our cell functions for minimum of 1 hour every Saturday. The cell is placed at S.B. Sridhara Kakulo College of Commerce and Management Studies, Kollin, Goa, so that it is easily accessible to the general public. Any person having any sort of law-related problems can approach our cell and seek help from us. Our cell organizes major literacy program wherein we invite resource persons. The students visit schools, Anganwadis, Mahila Mandals, and conduct a legal awareness talk. Also, we, the member of Legal Aid Cell, render a number of paralegal services like assist in procuring senior citizen cards, death and birth certificates, PAN cards, drafting affidavits, etc. We also help in filling such other documents as required for obtaining benefits under the welfare schemes of the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Verda. Our guest speaker for today, Mr. Roland Martins, is an eminent activist and a campaigner. I request Sonali to share insights of our today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir Roland Martins is a social activist and the coordinator of Goa Civic and Consumer Action Network, a voluntary consumer organization which promotes civic and consumer rights and has set up consumer forums in different villages of the state. So, he has also initiated the Young Civic and Consumer Movement to promote civic and consumer rights on the campus by setting up consumer welfare clubs in schools, higher secondary schools and colleges of Goa. He is also a member of the Goa State Consumer Protection Council and the Consumer Conciliation Committee of the Department of Civil Supplies and Consumer Affairs of Government of Goa. Thank you.
So now I request Sir Roland Martins to take over and add to our knowledge on consumer rights. I request everyone to please be attentive and coordinate.
Yes,
Yes.
So good afternoon, friends. हांव जेन्ना हांगा येयल्लो म्हाका दिसता थोडे स्टुडंट पळयताले म्हाका कसरो घेवन येयला हांगा. So you see, we yesterday launched it's a month-long program. Yesterday was the 15th of March, World Consumer Rights Day, and basically GoaCan has been an activity-based organization trying to get consumers to understand the Consumer Protection Act in a very practical, very simple way. So yesterday we launched this campaign. It's a month-long campaign, and we have a campaign called Consumer Literacy Campaign. So many people keep asking me, what is consumer literacy? I've been coming to this college for many years, and every time I come to Saraswat, I always talk to Sir Patkar that, the more sessions are here, I have great hope and satisfaction that Goa will see a bright future in terms of the young generation of consumers being able to understand their rights. So, why I go with all these things? Because most people think, and when they see legal aid cell, and they will talk about law and how to go to the consumer court, and people start scratching their head to say, you go to consumer court, the first thing, or you go to any court, first thing people say, you have to pay the lawyers, And law students must be saying, it's our profession, you got to pay us for our duty. So I definitely believe that we need lawyers, we need advocates, But the problem is there's a big divide or a big gap between what students understand as the law and when do they really require legal assistance, So I had an opportunity to be in the law college, and I'm sharing this with you, that how can we make a free legal aid cell which functions in a college every Saturday more robust, more dynamic. Because if students don't come there and meet other students from the law college, there's no excitement. So one of the things I want to do today is tell you about how useful this Consumer Protection Act is. Okay, I have a few leaflets I distributed to you at the end. But most people think of law as a complicated set of rules and that kind of thing. But Consumer Protection Act is a beneficial legislation. It's a social legislation. And thanks to John F. Kennedy, we have the 15th March World Consumer Rights Day in his remembrance and the United Nations for what effort he took in America to basically promote consumer rights. You see, a lot of us look at the United States of America as a very powerful country, exporter of goods and services. But little do we realize, it's one country which embarked on a very important movement, bringing consumer legislation. So after the United States of America, the United Nations then talked about, legal provisions for countries, and we got a Consumer Protection Act in 1986. So can you imagine till 2019, we were using the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. And today we have Amazon, we have artificial intelligence, we had COVID, we were given vaccines. Many people are now wondering why they took the vaccine. I don't know how many of you have ever thought about it. So there are so many questions today that is in the minds of the consumer. And the fact of the matter is that this legislation gives us rights. Now, if we don't understand these rights, we will never be able to use them. And if we don't use our rights, we will never be able to improve our day-to-day life. Okay? So the Consumer Protection Act basically gives us 6 rights in India. The right to safety, the right to be informed, the right to choice, the right to be heard, the right to seek redressal to your grievance, and the right to consumer education. Now you go to the United States of America, they have a right to clean air. We are discussing yesterday, I was just watching television, the most toxic cities are in India. And we are unable to do anything about it. But the United States of America, consumers can demand for clean air. They can even demand about intervening on the kind of technology companies are using. So there's so much to learn and so much to do. But let's come back to what we basically can do right now. Okay? So I'm in this hall, I'm speaking here. A fan majer patta. Aji gomti kapta. And tu vigre mutale boro munis to roll and mati delo. But kize baba chutsare. Melo. And somebody will say from there, Ari to hovan na telo time yelo. So 90% of people in the state of Goa and the rest of India believe that in accidents, I was here, I heard a big loud noise and I think something fell down there somewhere, whatever. So, mind, what do? We basically, chutsare dista. Babdo, road accident and melo, road accident and injured zalo. So chutsare. We don't empathize. We sympathize. And that's where the problem lies. Because if you feel sorry for someone, you will not be able to empower that person. So the right to safety, my dear friends, is a fundamental right in this Consumer Protection Act. It is the basis for goods and services. So what you should be asking is, who fitted this fan? What is the name of this company? Why did it fall off and cut his neck? You don't ask that question. So today we are a killer state. Goa, we are killing people every day. I don't know if you know about it. It's called, we talk about it as road safety. I have a major campaign going on in Goa on road safety. We started in 2005 and we worked on the ground level and built up the whole campaign. Can you imagine in January, in 31 days, we have killed 29 people. I think no other state in this country can get this award. But Goenka, we should be proud that we can kill people on the road. Now, why is this possible? This is possible, my dear friends, because how many of you have used the bus service today? Any of you have come by bus? Nobody? All have come on bikes? Okay, so how many of you, anybody have come by bus? So ma'am, what's the bus stop according to you? Plenty. So if you ask anybody in a village in Goa, they say, Vadakade Tollo, Madakade no. Huh? I remember when I traveled to South Goa, I had to go to Kamal College. They made me get off at the cemetery. Tu Shimitri Kote Jo. I told that fellow, I have not come for a funeral here. This is the bus stop. So the point I am making is, when we go in a train, when we go in a plane, we know we have to get off at the station. But Anna, you go to Kandoli, Wakat Marpi will stop up. You go at Porvori, Azun, they will say, Vadakade. Well, Banyan tree has gone long time back. But in Porvori, in a clergy home, it's called Vadakade. So friends, I am not against traditional bus stops. You can make a nice tourism site there. Tourists can come and photograph and all that. What I am talking about is why are people dying on the roads? Because suddenly the bus will stop on the road for somebody to alight. The person behind does not know that it's a bus stop. He bangs into it and you can see what's going on every day. Now I am not saying that bus stops is the only problem. But basically, we have very poor sense of safety. You know, I will show you. This is what the average Goan ladies do use. Karishma helmet. Huh? And I'm going to the husband is driving, the wife is there with the handbag behind. Traffic police poila, fatlan by vegi, helmet galta. Huh? Four fellas, one is banged in the coconut tree, so they can't see. Now you tell me, is this going to give you protection? Huh? This is going to give you protection. But till today, I can show you so many ladies, they will pull this thing down and try to show that ita tori helmet galta. I'm saying, why not use half a watermelon? Better. Huh? So, what is the problem with India and what is the problem with Goa? We kill about 1,40,000 every year in India. 1,40,000 is the minimum killing rate. And we are contributing to that. Because people believe that they should not wear a helmet. If you are riding a bike, if you are riding an Enfield bike, all the time, boom, 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 boom. I met guys with gel on their hair. Sir, our gel galo is a party. Helmet ghali chale, kire atle mere cash, 100 rupees gaye. I mean, this is traffic police. Pay $100. So the problem here is that somewhere we are missing the bus. Now what has happened? The Supreme Court has taken cognizance of it. There is a road safety committee of the Supreme Court. The secretary of the committee was in Goa last week. The auditors were down and it is shocking what they have found. None of our municipalities, none including Mapsa, have fit the bill for road safety. So the roads are in a terrible mess. There is no road engineering happening. Now I'm not trying to say that this government or that government. I'm trying to say we are all responsible. Because the first problem lies with us as consumers. Aami girai. Aam ka right ha. Safety is all. But we are not asking the question. So friends, what I want to point out to you. So like this fan, like the roads, we have our street, our electricity wires in front of our house. How many of you students have bothered to see the street, the electricity wires outside your house? There are little loops. Have you seen that? There is a loop under the wire. It's called a guard wire. So why is a guard wire? So if it snaps, it should not fall on the ground and you should not get electrocuted. Who is dying now because of this? Our buffaloes. So many wires are falling in the paddy fields. Buffaloes are dying. We have no sympathy for them. But that is part of negligence. Okay? That is part of negligence. So the right to safety is the most fundamental right. If you want quality goods in this country, you've got to fight for safety. But we don't have a sense of safety. If some